defense and scrimmage, that's when you really find out about the chemistry and the execution part of an offense.
What kind of things were you hearing from the players during the summer about their stuff they were doing on their own and kind of big takeaways?
Yeah, I was real proud of our offensive leadership on their own, especially even on Saturdays when they can do it on their own or not. We had a lot of guys participate, which is always a good thing. And I think for the most part, we have leaders that are desperate to be the best they can be, and they understand the big picture of bringing those younger guys along with them.
Being able to go into the fall with just a clean slate, you mentioned the injuries, but being able to go in the fall with all these guys, how is that?
This is a really, really important fall camp for us offensively because of the injuries we had during the spring. And so this is going to be very critical to keep our guys out there. We got just 14 practices pretty much before we start with the scouts and all that. So this is a very, very critical time. Our guys understand that. The execution piece, and identifying who we are, and who we're going to be.
What are some areas of Tommy's game that you want to see elevate that you think you guys can help to get to the next level?
The great thing is he does have experience. He was with me at UCF. He had 2 different offensive coordinators at Boston College, and now we're getting back to running pretty much what we did when he was at UCF. We're going to play to his strengths. He's got a lot of them. And let him play. And protecting the football and getting everything right. But so far, so good. His leadership, and we're out there in the spring. He did some really good things. And I just know for me, remembering what he was as a true freshman to where he is now, it's like night and day. And his skill set is really, really high. I think everybody knows that. So I think he's in a good spot to lead our offense.
In what sense is it night and day? Is it the skills set? What's different from when you first worked with him?
Yeah, it's just, there's nothing like experience, and just the maturity and the things that he's went through and grown and all that, and just the confidence. He's always been a confident guy, but he just understands the game better. He's had those different experiences where we can see certain things coming. He can play a little faster without having to think. It's probably the biggest thing. But there's nothing like experience, especially at the quarterback position.
You seem to like some of the things you saw from Brock and Kevin in the spring.
Oh, yeah.
Does that continue?
Oh, 100%. That was really one of the coming out of the spring, even though we had all the injuries, having those 3 quarterbacks, we feel really good about that. Brock's a veteran guy. He did a lot of really good things. And Kevin, he's a real quarterback. I knew he was talented, but we got him out there. There's a lot of things that come naturally.
You brought in a lot of veteran guys. The 2 guys we see a lot of JV, the freshman. How would they kind of stood out to you?
Who was the first one?
Box.
Okay.
The freshman. How is it that they differentiate themselves? Is it on the field, or is it kind of a mindset that they take?
Well, Box was with us in the spring. Of course, I recruited him and committed to us, so I knew a lot about him. But I think he's really hit the ground running. He really earned his team's respect, his coach's respect. He'll be in the mix. There's no doubt about that.
Mike talked to the podium about, how he probably said he saw Usman play more than he ever had seen a prospect play in person. What kind of relationship, if any, did you have with him? How quickly did that come together with kind of flipping him late? And I guess what's it been like seeing him this time? We've heard a lot about him.
I was aware of him. Didn't know him well, but obviously know his skill set well. And he's got an unbelievable skill set. He just got here this summer, so I've not been able to get out there work with him against the defense and all that. But really excited to work with him. Like I say, his skill set is very, very high.
This is all a new world of college football, but to be able to bring in guys like Deuce, Squirrel, and Gavin, and older guys play a lot of football, what does that do for you putting in?
I know for our offense, experience, guys that played before, making adjustments, especially when you're putting in, somewhat a new offense, relying on those guys early until the young guys grow up, that's very critical.
Do you have an idea of, do you want a feature running back? Do you want to buy committee? Have you thought that far? Or this time?
We're gonna, whatever helps us win. Had it where it's different. We had a feature guy. Had it where we've had 2 feature guys. It's just, we need guys that go out there and get it done. And the good thing is we got choices going into the fall camp. so I'm really looking forward to seeing our running back room, how everything plays out.
Coach Cordell mentioned Chase Lofton as a guy who has been impressive since he's been here. How hard is it at tight end to play as a true freshman?
That is really it's a football player position with what we do. He's got great football instincts. He's a great competitor. He stood out in a positive way this spring. There's no doubt about that. He's kind of half a tight end, half a receiver. So he, I really feel like will help us, at the receiver position some too. He's very personal.
And then I know in the spring they had Amari on the other side.
Yeah.
During the summer, I'm sure you got to work with him some. What have been your impressions?
Yeah, of course I knew a little bit about him. We recruited him too. He's got a unique skill set, very high skill set offensively. So looking forward to working with him. Obviously, he was on defense during the spring.
To Gavin, Blackwell, and Salchuk, what did you see from them respectively, like in the transfer portal scouting process?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you can tell they're football players. And just evaluating when I got here what we needed. We needed experience. We needed guys that have been on the field and played, and that was really a focus. And going after spring, that's when we picked those guys up. And so far so good. You can tell they're football savvy guys. There's nothing like experience. I'll say it again. In our offense, and guys that have actually played and know what it feels like, and played in big games and how they react, and playing without the football. And both those guys, so far really showed that that's carried over since they've been here.
You talked in your first press conference about kind of wanting to maybe take a step back to be a coordinator so you could focus more on football, less the head coach duty. Coming out of your first offseason, how has being just a coordinator freed you up? I mean, maybe allowed you to focus more on that?
There's no doubt. It's helped me tremendously focus on one side of football. It's like almost a completely different job description than being a head coach. And so it's been good from the relationship side, getting to know the players, relationship-wise, and just worrying about one side of the ball.
What about from a recruiting evaluation standpoint? Like, how has that part of the job been different, getting focused on just one side of the ball?
Yeah, no, that's been good too, and being able to identify for sure our needs. Of course, we've been doing this a long time, but still, when you just focus on one side of the football, you've got twice as much time.
So without talking about being excited about the ceiling of the offensive line, what has provided that excitement, and what do you think they have to do?
Yeah, well, the offensive line, being able to have those guys healthy right now going into fall camp, that's a game changer. We weren't able to do that this spring. So, these practices are very, very critical for those guys. The good thing is, some of them have started for 3 or 4 years, all that. It's just getting used to working together and that communication that goes with it. And then, big key is going to be keeping those guys healthy too. That's just where we're at right now. But there's nothing like experience up front. And we know a lot about the guys that we did pick up. They played a lot of football.
What about the guys behind them? Who are some that you need to kind of, those bridge players, those rotational guys, who are some that you're making?
Yeah, well, the good thing, here's the positive, not having our main guys for the most part in the spring. It gave those other guys extra reps to catch up. Right now, I'm not ready to say this guy or that guy. As fall camp goes on, I'll be ready to do that. And the plan will be some of those guys, bring those guys around for quality depth in case you run into injuries and things like that during the season.
When you open a season against a team like Alabama, can you sense that just around the guys, just the excitement and focus maybe, as opposed to maybe starting with a lesser known team?
Yeah, there's no doubt. The urgency. We're going to play, one of the top defenses probably in college football. When you look at what they got coming back, their skill set and all that. So the urgency, not just for the players, but the coaches, we understand. You got to be strategic. You got to be strategic in fall camp, and so. But it's 32 days away, something like that. Before we know it.